All right, everyone. So I do want to welcome you to another Mobe webinar. My name's Matt Boland. I'm an affiliate manager with Mobe. We're joined tonight by Amy Harrop. I'm excited for this call. I hope you guys are too. Amy's going to show us tonight absolutely the easiest way to brand ourselves as an authority in the IM space. I hope you guys are excited. Amy's a very experienced writer, teacher, publisher, and trainer. She has a BA in film production. She's worked in the film industry, taught English and writing courses as a high school teacher. She's a longtime publisher and product creator. Literally created dozens of products, trainings, courses, and she's helped others do the same. She's been able to monetize that content across a number of different sites, and she really specializes in empowering people to build their own content and income streams and help take advantage of the many opportunities that are available to sell and promote their message with content marketing. Essentially, we are, like the title says, we're going to discover the easiest way to brand ourselves as an authority in the IM space. So, Amy, are you here? Can you hear me okay?
I am Matt. Hi. Hi, everybody.
Hello, Amy. I can hear you loud and clear as well. So I just want to make sure you guys can hear Amy okay. If you can, go ahead and put a 1 or an okay in the chat box just to make sure that's coming through loud and clear for you guys. Good deal. Excellent. You guys can hear okay. And, let me just ask you guys a question first. I know generally we have a pretty heavy Mobe audience, but, these webinars are not just limited to Mobe members. So if you are a Mobe member, go ahead and put Mobe in the chat box. I just want to see, engage, how many Mobe members we have. Yep, that's quite a bit. So yeah, I see almost it's moving pretty fast. Almost everybody here is probably in Mobe. So that's good. Yep, I see you guys are putting your, MLRs and platinums in there, so that's good. Now, let me ask you guys a question. So all you guys that are here in Mobe, whether you're in Mobe or you're not in Mobe, how many of you would like to make more commissions online, would like to make more money, would like to have more sales, whether it be with Mobe or anything else? Go ahead and put a yes or an amen, or just like Connie just did, whatever you think you guys would like in the chat box. Yes, yes, absolutely, more money. Yes, amen, amen. Um, Gary, all right, Gary says he hates making money, so Gary, you can leave. Just kidding. Vincent, absolutely. H, yeah, I know what that stands for, Mike. I'm all ears, amen, always. And Mike says, not at all, are you kidding? I know you're kidding, Mike. So obviously, right, we all want to make more money in the internet marketing space. And really, how many of you guys think that the people in Mobe, some of the top partners in Mobe, they come in and you say, well, wow, they must just have it easy because they're already pre-established. They come in, they have a following already, and it's just easier for them because they have that. Do you guys think that that's the case? Let me know in the chat box. I mean, just tell me, the top partners that we have in the company that are making $1 million and they're making $500,000. You always see them winning contests. Do you think it's easier for them because they've established their brand? Do you think it's easier for them because they have a following and maybe they already have a buyer list? And that might make it a little bit easier for them. So yes, it's easier for them. And Catherine, you're correct, says branding was heavily stressed in DR. Absolutely. Rob says, duh, yes. And yes, when they have a huge mailing list, definitely easier. So yeah, good point, Gary. Gary says no, they had to get there first. And that's right, Gary. But I think once they have that branding and that authority, it definitely does make it easier for them. So yeah, Mike says much easier. So good. And now that being said, you guys can see where, having a higher brand and a higher authority in the marketplace would be beneficial. How many of you guys would like to do that for yourselves? How many of you guys would like to learn how to brand yourselves better and elevate your status in the marketplace? Go ahead and let me know in the chat box. I just want to make sure that we have a crowd here that's going to be receptive to what we want to teach you guys tonight. So yes, please help. Yep, yes, me, I will, absolutely. Yes, please, I'm in. Chat box is moving pretty fast, and I think a lot of you guys are all on the same page here. So good, good. Bob says most definitely. Bob W. Absolutely, Bob. You're right. You're spot on. So good. I'm glad you guys, you seem like this is the type of content you guys are interested in, and that's what we're going to deliver here for you tonight. So I'm excited, like I said. I hope you guys are too. I'm going to turn it over to Amy. I know she's prepared some slides for us, and she's really going to do a good job teaching us this stuff. I'll keep an eye on the chat box while Amy is speaking and presenting. But we will have a Q&A session at the end, so if you have any particular questions, try and hold off till then. I just want to make sure we get to them all and that I don't miss anything. But nonetheless, here we go. And Amy, I'm going to turn over the slides to you if you're all set.
Okay, great. Yeah, feel free to make me the presenter, and I'll start my slideshow, and we'll get started.
Good deal. Pass that over to you.
Okay.
And guys, if you would, just go ahead and try and minimize any distractions. If you have the TV on in the background, turn that off. If your cell phones are on, try and turn those off. You know, Amy is going to spend some time with us here tonight, and we kind of owe her the respect to go ahead and pay attention to what she has to say. And I promise you, you'll benefit because of it if you do. So just try and minimize any distractions, and let's try and stay focused for the next hour or so, and really listen to what Amy has to teach us tonight. And Amy, thanks again for for volunteering some of your time to join us. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Matt, and thanks again, too, for that wonderful introduction. I'm really happy to be here. And tonight, I'm going to be talking and sharing some strategies with you, really getting to what Matt had mentioned is the core, which is to make building and growing your business easier. I'm going to be talking about product creation strategies so you can grow your business, product creation strategies that complement what you're already doing, and why, even if you don't consider yourself a product creator or a full-time product creator, why you really want to create and sell your own product. So I'm really excited to be here tonight. And if you do have questions, you can put them in there and we'll get to them at the end, or just hold them and then we'll be very happy to answer questions. So so I'm going to be sharing tonight some tips and strategies, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of content, so we'll go ahead here and jump in and get started. Just a little bit briefly about me. As Matt mentioned, I'm a longtime writer, publisher, and teacher trainer. And I really specialize in helping people create, publish, and monetize content. And I've published a variety of different courses, books, and products through a lot of different platforms like direct publishing, direct sales, Amazon, Udemy, and other platforms. And I will say that my business really grew and exploded once I decided to focus more on product creation. And that's really what allowed me to multiply my income and get my business going much faster. And I do live in North Idaho, near Coeur d'Alene, with my husband and my 2 cats there. So one of the things you might be asking yourselves is, why should I create a product? I'm not a product creator. I don't consider myself a product creator. I'm not even sure that's an area I want to go into. But product creation is really a pillar of having a successful business. And if you do look at many of the people who are successful, have full-time online income, they're in the 6-figure, 7-figure income bracket, they do have products that they have. They probably even have a whole line of products, because product creation is really something that just benefits you and benefits your bottom line. And of course, one of the main things it does is it helps build your authority, because you are putting out your content, you're putting out what you stand for, what you're teaching, what you want to share with people. And that can go just a long, long way. And I want to talk too about a few things why, if you feel that, well, I don't have an authority or I'm not an expert, I'm going to talk about that as well, about some ways that you can, you are an expert and how you can be presenting yourself as an expert, and when you're putting together something and putting it out there. The other thing is if you are creating a product, it's going to actually help you sell additional products and services. For example, you may be interested in affiliate marketing. It is much easier to recommend quality products to people who already like and have purchased your own products. It's much, much easier. You may want to sell coaching, consulting services, or other types of services you may be doing offline. And if you have some type of product to also go along with that, it makes that easier as well. And again, it's helping position and present yourself as an expert. It can complement what you already do. I mean, there's only so many hours in the day, and there's only one of us, even if you have a staff of people. For example, let's say you work with a group of people and they're always asking the same types of questions over and over again. If you had some type of book or product that answered all of those frequently asked questions, then you are helping those people and you're serving those people, but you're not physically having to sit there and spend the time doing that. You can actually give them your book or give them your course, and then they can do that, and then you can work with them one-on-one on other types of things if that's what you're doing, or go ahead and sell them more services. And very powerfully, it really helps you build that list of the buyer subscribers if you are building that list, because people who get on your list who've purchased a product are going to be way more likely to purchase additional products from you, additional services from you, and also products and services from other people that you recommend, much more than people who are just on your list, got on your list for free. Now, creating free products and building up a list of free people certainly does have a space, there's room for that as well, but it's not as direct or as powerful a method as creating a list of people who've actually purchased your product.
That's so true. And, for you guys, how many of you guys can understand that, right? I mean, you have a list of people that either opt in for a free ebook or something like that. How many of you guys think would be a better list if they were buyers? If they had actually, either pulled out a credit card or actually go ahead and purchased a product with your name on it and they were on your list. How many of you guys in the audience think that would be a better quality list if they've already purchased from you? And that being said, how many of you guys think it would be easier to go ahead and sell somebody a second product, or how much they would just believe in your recommendations that much stronger if they've already purchased from you, not necessarily just opted in for a free ebook that they may or may not have even ever opened and read. So once they purchase from you, it's just such a higher quality lead. So yes, definitely, of course, a lot easier. That will be much more easy right away. Definitely, Michael. Absolutely makes sense. Yes, it would. They must have trust in you, Peter. Absolutely. When somebody buys from you, right? They buy from people that they know, like, and trust, and that's definitely a stronger connection that you establish with your list. So definitely, for sure, that's a fantastic point, Amy.
Yeah, great, great. And it's very true. I look at my buyers and my subscribers, and I have a number of buyers who not only have purchased one product from me, but they've pretty much purchased every single thing that I release. And so they have that, they're the tribe, they're the followers who love what I have, and they're buying all of my products. And that's a really great position to be in.
For sure. And I mean, you could have a list that's only the fraction of a size and have it be a buyer list, and that could perform so much better than a list that's 10 times the size, but just freebie seekers or things like that. So yeah, totally.
So I'm kind of bandying this word product around, and product can mean a lot of things. Product can mean going to Walmart and getting something. It can be a widget, it can be something physical, it can be something digital. What I'm talking about here in terms of us actually creating and releasing a product is I'm talking a little bit more specifically about content that's delivered it can be delivered in a physical format or digital format, but it's really designed to solve a problem or provide a desired outcome. So there is a point to that. It's not necessarily, in this instance, we're not necessarily talking about entertainment types of products, although those can also, of course, be very powerful. We're talking about content that is specifically designed to help people solve a problem or provide a specific result or a specific outcome. A lot of times they're called, this is called information products or information courses or training. And we've talked a little bit about the difference between free and paid. I mean, and free can be good because it can help people get to know, like, and trust you. And it can also be good for generating traffic because if you're just sort of putting stuff out there, like you think of YouTube videos, for example, if people don't have to pay to watch that YouTube video, that video is going to be getting, thousands and millions of hits as opposed to something they might have to watch. The downside of that, of course, is that you're not necessarily getting super targeted traffic because it's free. People can just get it and check it out, and there's not, they're not making a commitment there by investing with their money. So with paid products, these I think are much more powerful for creating immediate income and also passive income because, as we were talking about, they can be parlayed into other types of paid products later, and you can also recommend additional products and services and get an affiliate commission as well. And I just want to sort of point this out because a lot of times what I see people who are sort of starting out online is they get sometimes stuck in creating like a lot of free content or just doing stuff for free, maybe because of lack of confidence. But once you make that shift to putting something out there that people are paying for, it really puts you and what you're doing on a whole nother level. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something where you're charging 3 figures or 4 figures right off the bat, but putting something out there that you're saying, okay, this is something that's going to make your life better, it's going to solve one of your problems, and you're going to invest in this. The quality of the people you're going to get who move forward with that is just going to be so much better, and it's going to accelerate your business a lot faster. So that's really good with paid products. And then, of course, becoming an authority because you're really saying, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I know enough of what I'm sharing with you here to know that it's going to be helpful for you that I'm going to ask you to pay for it. and also offering an alternative solution to what you already provide. So you may, again, may not able to be everywhere all the time, but if you can provide a digital alternative or a course or something like that, that's going to allow you to have sort of like, you know, hundreds of thousands of mini-me's out there actually helping people and teaching and training people while you're doing other things. And I think that's one of the really exciting and powerful things about creating and selling products, is that in today's sort of digital economy and digital world, is that you don't have to physically go to somebody's business or house and knock on their door and go through that. You can just give them a link or give them access to a course, and they can get that same type of knowledge and training.
It's true, very true.
So a lot of times there's these sort of what I like to call product creation myths, you know, and you talk to a lot of people who say, oh, I want to create a product, or I've been thinking about it, and they don't really move forward. And I think some of the reasons for that is they feel that they have to have certain things and they don't have those things. And I want to just say that that's just not true. For example, you don't have to be what you may consider an expert. You don't have to have a PhD or be at the top of your field. One of the things I'm constantly reminded of is that there's a lot of different things where I may be more expert than others in certain topics, but there are topics where I know enough, or I know more than somebody who's maybe an absolute beginner. So you can be at the intermediate level, or you can have the gift for explaining things clearly to somebody who is an absolute beginner, but that doesn't mean that you need to have had 20 years of experience. A lot of times what ends up happening, and I do this too, is we sort of discount our own knowledge and expertise because we think, oh, well, you know, I learned that over the years, or I didn't go to a fancy school and get a big degree for that, so it's not really worth anything. And that's not true at all. A lot of the people who are wanting that type of information or content or knowledge or solutions, and that's really what it is, it's solutions, they are happy and willing to get a fast answer, get a good answer to be able to move to the next level. So in their eyes, you are an expert, and that is something that they are going to be willing to pay money for. Another thing is a product does not have to be really long and comprehensive. And I see this too, where, you know, somebody will be like, oh, I have 3 modules finished out of 25 modules. I'll have this released in like a year or two. You know, there's a saying, I'm trying to remember who said it, but, you know, money loves speed. And while we don't, you know, we want to bring quality products out into the marketplace, your product does not have to be overly long or comprehensive, and I'm going to be talking about some different strategies for that a little bit later here. People don't have incredibly long attention spans anymore. A lot of times what people are really looking for is they're looking for effective, relatively short answers and trainings and solutions. They don't want to have to go and read a 400-page manual. They just want a step-by-step guide from A to B to get something done.
That's so true. I mean, how many of you guys agree with that, right? If you have a question, do you want to sift through 300 pages to find the answer to that question? Or would you rather have the perfect solution in a nice, short, easy to read, maybe even just a couple of pages or just a single page that provides you with the specific answer that you're looking for? Does that make sense to you guys? And, you know, just to hop back onto what Amy said about being an expert, you know, I heard that so much down at Titanium in the Dominican when we were talking about branding. People say, oh, I'm sort of new, I don't really know that much. And I promise you guys have a lot up there in your head that you could just release and it would be helpful to somebody else. There's a famous saying that I love, and it relates so much to the internet marketing space. It's in the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king, right? So, you know, literally think about that for a second. You don't need to be an expert. And honestly, guys, we can't be experts. I mean, Amy's been at this for so long. She just admitted, like, there's certain things that, you know, we can't be experts on. Literally, there's just too much, you know, and you know, you guys, I promise you guys have valuable knowledge up there in your head, and you just need to release it and get it out in a proper way. And it would definitely be helpful to others. That's a great point. And you know, the length, like you're talking about, Amy, is spot on as well. It doesn't need to be long, doesn't need to be comprehensive at all.
No, not at all, not at all. And kind of a last one that I see a lot is people think they have to set aside like a huge block in time and money to release and launch a product, you know. They think, oh, well, I have to get a JV manager or I have to have $1,000 advertising budget before I can get started. And again, that's not true at all, especially if you're releasing your first or your second product. There are some ways to get it out into the marketplace very quickly, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that today too. And you do not need to spend 3 months or 6 months launching a product. You can get something out there, especially if you are keeping it short and very focused on a solution. You can get it out there to the marketplace very quickly, and then you can get feedback on it, and then you can continue to move forward, either, you know, improving it if you want to make changes or releasing another product or what have you. You don't have to spend that long right now. And I think spending that long or thinking you have to spend that much time or money is actually really debilitating, because what ends up happening is people lose enthusiasm and they lose focus for their idea. And you know, the sooner you can take that enthusiasm and focus and get it out into the marketplace, the better. You're going to benefit and your audience is going to benefit too.
Yeah, that's very true. And I just have a quick confession to make to all of you guys. My first product that I sold actually started as a free giveaway. I didn't think that people would find enough value in it, and I gave it away, and I had such good feedback and everybody was raving about it. I said, "Wait a minute, I could probably charge money for this." And that's exactly what I did. Once I had a good amount of reviews, I closed down the giveaway and I turned around and I put a price tag on it. It was low, $7, but I sold a couple of hundred units, and I said, wow, there was really much more value here than I ever thought that there was. And that sort of just got me off and running, and I was on to the next one. So I'm living proof of exactly that right there, Amy.
That's great. That's very exciting. And you're right. It's like once you do that first product, even if it is, under $10, it's just going to make it so much more easier to continue and move forward. You're going to have so much more momentum than just doing things that are free and not really getting the benefits from that.
Exactly.
So this sort of leads up to some types of easy types of products you can create, because you might be thinking, well, that's good, bringing something to market quickly, and I don't have to do something huge, but I just want to give you some specific types of examples of things that you can create with your own knowledge, your own expertise. And these are things that I've created that sell. These are things I look and see other marketers, other people selling very easily, and things that people will buy over and over and over again. One of these are cheat sheets. People love cheat sheets. They love having a quick reference to something that they can look at very quickly and take that and then run with it. So, if you had a cheat sheet on maybe something that you're doing, like a 10-minute video editing for videos that look great or something like that, whatever it is your area is, or how to create awesome Facebook ads, and these are the 10 things you need to do, then that's going to be really helpful, but it's also going to be really concise. Another types of products that goes along with this are what I like to call the do or not do, and this is really great where you can go either one way or the other, and you can also, I like using numbers, and this also helps you make compelling headlines and compelling titles for your products too. 5 easy ways to do something, 5 easy ways to generate 1,000 visitors to your blog, or 5 mistakes everyone makes when they, get their Pinterest board set up for Pinterest or something like that. And so what you're doing is you're sharing those 5 things or those 10 things, and you're sharing that insider information with your audience, and that's what they want. It's a sort of 80-20 rule. It's 20% of things for the things that are going to make the difference. So with these types of types of products, you are focusing on those top things that are going to make the huge difference. You can sort of think about this like with anything, like buying a car, buying a home. There's really like 5 to 10 things you really need to focus on, like the interest rate and a few things like that, and all the other stuff isn't as important. So you can create a whole product just isolating that top 20% of what people really need to know to make a difference, and then present it in a way where you're able to say to them, okay, this is what you definitely need to do, or you definitely don't want to do. And that can make a really powerful product.
I love that the numbers there, Amy. I think 5 easy ways to and 5 mistakes. I mean, Just reading that now, kicked off a bunch of ideas in my head. And, you guys here in the audience, think about this for a minute, right? How many of you guys could go ahead and do 5 easy ways to make more commissions with Mobe? And then you might look at the top 5 partners in Mobe, and they all promote via different avenues. You could highlight the success, for instance, that Shakir Hussein has had with solo ads, Michelle and Bill with Facebook ads, Luke Lim with PPV, and you could just talk about their success and how they've been able to do that. And, that would still be helpful, even though it's not you, it's not your experience, you're still providing that helpful information to somebody else. And that's so easy to find. 5 mistakes people commonly make when trying to promote Mobe. I'm sure you guys could sift through the Facebook groups and you could find people that are having trouble with certain things and talk about their mistakes within your little report. And don't worry about something having to be totally unique, or, oh, that's been talked about before, that's been done before. That's fine. Don't worry about that. Essentially your product is going to be unique to you because you're going to write it in your own words. You're going to have it branded around you, maybe with your picture, your logo on it, and it's going to be unique to you. So, keep these things in mind here, and I'm sure you guys can think of another million ideas. You just using those numbers. That's a great way to kind of just kick it off and get some brainstorming going.
Definitely, definitely. And kind of going into to even another types of product with that is to achieve a desired result. And I was just thinking when you were saying this, it doesn't even have to be your result. It can be somebody else's result that you're sharing. How I did something, I was able to succeed and you can too. How I got 200 Twitter followers in 1 week and you can too, or how so-and-so did this and you can too, where you're sort of breaking it down and providing a blueprint.
True.
And that's just really easy to do. And sort of a last one that's similar to these are tips and compiled content. For example, I just saw, I think it was today, a marketer had released a solo ads Rolodex, when you're talking about solo ads, where they basically put together a Rolodex of the best solo ad vendors that they thought were the best. And that's all it is. It's just a list of a bunch of names and a bunch of people. And I'm seeing it selling like hotcakes because people love having that information on tap. They don't want to, be going around to like 5 different places trying to see what's going to be best. They just want, a list of people who said, okay, this is good, or people have had results with this, here you go,
Right, right. Guys, let me just ask you in the chat box, tell me, how many of you guys think that sometimes other people are lazy? You see people asking a question and you're like, wow, they could just go ahead and find that out themselves. How many of you guys think that sometimes internet marketers tend to be a little bit lazy or a little bit lax and can understand where, just putting that information together, like Amy said, somebody just put a list of solo ad vendors together and turn that into a product. How easy is that? Don't overcomplicate it here. Just kind of, keep it simple and think about things that you go through in your marketing and things that you run into. And Tom says, right on. Lucy says, yes, yes. Leslie says, no, they're working smarter. Chris says, yes. Lazy or do not know where to start. And absolutely, Pamela, absolutely. Pretty much everyone says, Mike, yes, 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 they are. Absolutely. Yeah, you guys are right on. So, just keep it simple and don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, very, 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 very true. Another example of this is I had a friend who just released another product that's been doing very well in this particular niche, and it's all about using Fiverr providers for different types of marketing services. Again, you can go on Fiverr and look for Fiverr people, but there's so many people on Fiverr, and just looking at the ratings sometimes isn't enough to tell you if something's effective, like especially if it's something with like a marketing type thing or something. And he just put together a list of providers that provided people had reported back with documented results. They weren't even his documented results. They were other people's who had put them out there, and he just compiled that together, and people are loving that because it's the time factor, it's the laziness factor, it's the why do I have to do all the legwork, I'll have somebody else do it.
Right.
Also, too, when you're thinking about some of these different products, is you can put together things in different formats. And I want to sort of throw that out there to you because we all have different things that appeal to us differently. For me, I really do like the written word, and I tend to put out products that tend to be sometimes more written-related, reports or books. But if you're more of a visual person, you can do videos. You can also take what you've written and have it be an audio, be MP3s. People love listening to those, putting them on their phone or whatever. And you can even get software done. I also have software that I've created as well, and it's really exciting with what we have going on today, because you can get somebody to do software for you if you have a really good idea, and you don't have to know any coding or anything. You can just get somebody and hire them and have them do that for you. I wouldn't necessarily say you would want to maybe start with that with your first product, but I do want to say that the sky is the limit with format. You don't have to feel that, if you're a square peg and you like a certain type of format with your product, you don't have to feel like, oh, well, I have to do this other type of format, so I can't do anything with that. Instead, just go with the format that you want to go with first, and then you can do some more stuff in other formats later, because there's going to be a market out there for that format, A, and B, it's going to be much faster and easier for you to create that product in that type of module that you're more comfortable with.
Right, right.
And one of the things you can do is you can repurpose your product in multiple formats, and I love doing this. You can create a book. You can then take part of that book and create a report. You can then take that book and expand it and create a course. You can also create videos from that, and then you can create an audio version of that as well. So you can end up with like 5 different versions of the same type of content, and it's all presented slightly differently, but it's allowing you to get your content out there. So, for example, if you have something that's getting a really good response in one format, instead of feeling like, oh, I got to go reinvent the wheel and now I got to do something else, you can just take that and expand it and put it in another format and reach a whole new audience with it. And I
Yeah.
love doing this.
Yeah, true. And as you guys go through these different formats, your content is going to get better and better as it gets more refined, because you're going to have some feedback from others. You're going to have some other ideas kicking around in your head, and you're just going to have more to expand upon as you go through the different formats.
Very true, because there's a lot of stuff that might lend itself more to a video series or video course, and that you can't necessarily show and tell in a book. And so if you do the book part first, or the report, then you can see different areas where you can expand, and you can say, oh, okay, I can show an example on the screen of how this is, or I can provide a visual example or something like that. So they sort of feed on each other.
Definitely, for sure.
And one of the most important things, obviously, too, is where you're going to sell your product, because we want to get our product out there to the world. We want to have traffic. We want to find an audience, but we don't want to have to spend, months and days and years like trying to go find our audience, or having to blow through like thousands and thousands of dollars in advertising. Here's a couple of different places where you can find your audience pretty quickly. One of them is Amazon. You can sell physical and digital books there, and audio. And now, on the front end, these particular products may not make you tons of money if you're selling something for, $3.99 or $5.99 or $10.99 or something like that, but they do allow you to reach a very, very wide audience. And in addition to that, you can also use them very craftily and get people, on your mailing list who are purchasing these books as well, and checking them out too. You can have incentives for people once they purchase this to then get on your mailing list, so you can use that as well. So Amazon, I think, is a great place, because it's one of these places where it's just the bar to entry is very low, and it's very easy for you to get started with this. Now, another great place are specialized marketplaces like Mobe. So the marketplace there, they're always looking for good quality products, and you can go on there and see what's already on there. And if your product fits what they want, then you can put your product on there as well. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of other types of marketplaces that are sort of in the marketing area. The Warrior Forum is one of them. You have sort of a built-in audience. That's a lot of times for sort of more lower ticket products, but that's actually where many years ago I sold my first product, and it was great because there was a sort of a built-in buyers there, and I didn't have to go and find my buyers, and it was easy. The other things you can do is you can do your own website, and you can use advertising or free traffic and just sell directly on your own site. Primarily what I do now is I do sell directly on my sites and do more direct sales in addition to some of these other things.
Now that you've built up your list a little bit, you can do that.
Right, and that's a really good point too. You can start where other buyers are hanging out, and then leverage those and start selling products on your own site. So you can say, okay, well, my buyers are hanging out over here, or they're hanging out at this marketplace, or I think Amazon would be a good place where I can reach a lot of these buyers. And then once you start getting more buyers and you start getting more of an audience, you can take all those people and you can just sell to them directly through your list and just have them go directly to your sites.
For sure. And you mentioned the Warrior Forum, and that's, my story that I told a couple slides back. That's where I had started as well, probably about 6 years back at this point.
Oh, okay, great. We must have both been on there.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Those years
And
ago.
guys, in the chat box, just, let me know what you think. Are you guys starting to see how it could be a little bit easier to have your own product than you might have initially thought? Are you guys starting to see and connect the dots to where it's maybe not as complicated as it might have seemed to be? And, you're thinking how, having a product released out into the marketplace could elevate your status and your branding within the internet marketing space. Let me know. I see, a couple of you guys putting in the chat box now. Yes, absolutely, for sure. Great info. Yes, very interesting. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Leslie says yes, and what is Udemy? Good question, Leslie. We'll get to that in a minute. Tom says authority. That bingo, Tom. That's exactly it right there. Sylvia says, wow, so enlightening. Been thinking of this for a while, says Connie. Great content. Yes, for sure. You guys, it looks like you guys are definitely digging this. So perfect. Stan says, this is what my coach has been saying since the beginning. And absolutely, Stan, it's that's because it's probably absolutely the best way to do it. So I didn't want to interrupt Amy, but go ahead.
No, that's exciting. I'm glad to get all that feedback, and I'm glad to see people are fired up about this. And yes, Udemy. Udemy is, right now, it's really the largest online course marketplace. They're based out of San Francisco. They've been around, I think, for about 3 or 4 years now, maybe a little bit longer, but they're huge, and they're growing exponentially. And what they do is they allow anybody to put a course on their site, and then you sell through their platform. They also have an affiliate program. So again, you can leverage their audience and their buyers, and you just sell your courses on there, and then they pay you. And their courses, though, are primarily video content, so they are geared a bit toward video. One of the things I've done with Udemy, and I have several courses up there, I have free and paid courses, is I have information products I've created, and then I've taken those and created Udemy courses out of those products. So it really lends itself well to multi-purposing. But they have a very large audience, and it is growing, and it is a great place to put your courses up there, especially since they're handling all the payments and everything. And I also just want to say there's some other courses, other places out there that are also doing this. SkillFeed is another site where you can upload courses and they will pay you when people look at them. There's also sites like, I think it's called Fedora, where it's sort of you sell it yourself and keep the money, but they have like a course platform where people can go through the course very professionally with videos and things like that. So this sort of e-learning or distance learning or online learning is becoming, I want to say it's a trend. It is a trend. It's a growing trend, and it's something that just, to be aware of, because it's something that you can jump into right now and really take advantage of, is this whole trend toward people wanting to learn things by streaming content on their phones, on their tablets, on their computers. And Udemy is really at the forefront of this right now, but there are other competitors.
That I think you make a great point there, Amy. And you first said that Udemy, that they allow anybody to put their products there, right? There's no bar for entry. You don't need to be some sort of super internet marketer. You don't need to make 10 grand or anything like that. Anybody can list their product there.
Yes, they don't care about your education or credentials, and they have courses on all kinds of topics too. They have marketing, definitely. It's a strong presence there, internet marketing and technical, but they have pretty much anything. Health, fitness, relationships. It's huge.
Awesome. And and another thing too, you mentioned laptop, tablet, cell phone. So basically, once you upload your content there, for instance, they deliver that for you. You don't have to create a membership site and host your videos or anything like that. That's all done by them, correct?
Yes, it is, and that's another great thing about that too, because the technical skill set required is pretty low. You do have to meet their course requirements when you upload certain things, but they have a lot of help for you, and then once it's uploaded, it's they handle all the streaming, all the payments, and all that type of stuff. And
so,
yeah.
Are there courses on Udemy on how to use Udemy?
Yes, there are, and they actually have a free course that you can take if you're interested. And then there are people like Alan Hull, I think, is one. He makes that thousands of dollars each month on there, and he has several courses on how to be successful in that. The courses I have on there are geared a little bit more toward writers and publishers, like how to publish to the Kindle into different platforms and things like that. So those tend to be more of my courses on there. And just sort of speaking of that, I thought that brings up a really good point. A lot of times with this product creation type of model, what I really like about it too is it's sort of front-loaded work. So you do the work, you create the product, you get it into the marketplace, and then you get feedback, and you can tweak things, but then you're collecting your money, but your time isn't, it's freed up. You're not trading dollars for income. You've done the work once, your product's out there, you're getting paid for it, you're getting royalties for it, and then it frees yourself up to go do other things. And I really like that because I think it's just much more efficient.
Yeah, right, right. And I mean, think about that, guys. How many guys would like to create something once and get paid over and over and over and over again for it? And that's the reality, guys. I can honestly tell you that I've had products live on various marketplaces for years now, and I'll see sales roll in on a day. I'll be like, wow, I'm sometimes sort of surprised that those sales are still coming in. So if you guys would like to create something once and see profits from it over and over and over again, let me know in the chat box. Kyle says me, Randy says, oh yeah. Sylvia, me, with a big smiley face. Leslie says, I would love to have that happen. Tamsin says, yes. Yes, Catherine and Christy and Sylvia. So no brainer, says Linda. She loves it. You bet, definitely. Already working on it, says Robert. Good deal, Robert. And Olafemi says she loves passive income, and who doesn't? Good, good. So I think those are all excellent, excellent points, Amy.
Great, great. Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting to think about. We are in such a great time and place right now where we can take advantage of these trends and how people are consuming information and solving problems. It's just really exciting, I think.
Right.
So we talked a little bit here about, I mentioned money loves speed, and we've been talking about you need to get stuff out there quickly. And in fact, I would sort of stress that from what I can see, that's one of the number one roadblocks with people where, they say, oh, I don't have a product out yet, I've been working on it, and then I find out they've been working on it for like 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. And we really want to, especially when we're doing our first product or a second product or something, we really want to get that product out there quickly, because the sooner we get it out there, then the sooner we can see get the benefits from it and then continue, and it's going to get that momentum fired up for us. So here's a few just sort of fast product creation tips. One of them, and I think one of the most important, is you're design that particular product around one problem, one solution. So and that again I think goes to the whole 80-20 rule. Most of the time there's one or two things or just a handful of those things that people want to get solved, and even what you can even do if you've identified several is you can take the biggest problem first, create your mini product around that, and then you can create other products later around some of these other problems and solutions as well. So like, let's say, for example, you've been successful at getting traffic to your blog or something. Well, you could talk about, the problem is how do you get traffic without spending, a lot of money ad spend? Well, you could talk about like your best solution for that. And instead of talking about the 10 different ways you're driving traffic, you could talk about the main way that's bringing you the most traffic. So focusing more on one problem, one solution is going to just give you much more of a clear outline, and it's going to make it easier too for people to implement what you're actually sharing and teaching with them.
Right, right.
Okay, and of course, relying on your own experience and expertise. Your knowledge and experience is valuable, and a lot of times I think people don't realize what they actually know until they sit down with like a pen and paper or in front of the computer with a keyboard and they start typing or writing out on what they actually know about a topic, and you'll be surprised at how much you actually know that other people want to know, and how much expertise and experience that you have that you can then turn into content that people will consume and people will pay for. An example of this is one of the first products I did was I actually created private label rights to a product because it was about a topic that was not in the internet marketing niche, and it was a topic I knew about, and it was about working with like psychic readings and psychic readers, and I knew that there was a lot of affiliate programs about psychic readers, so I thought, well, what if I put together like a report that people can use that talks about like the good and bad things or the pros and cons or what to look for a psychic reader, and then people who were promoting these psychic affiliate programs can give out that report. and I sold that. In fact, I think I'm still selling it actually somewhere. I think it's on the forum still. And that
That's
was one of my
awesome.
that was one of my first products, and I took something that wasn't necessarily related to internet marketing, but it was something I was familiar with, and I repackaged it so marketers could get use out of it. And that's a good way, to be thinking about that, about how can you repackage your experience and your expertise and make it valuable for somebody else.
All right.
And then, of course, research. Research can get you sort of bogged down. Sometimes people spend too long on research because it's just so fun. It's so much more fun sometimes, and you're just sitting there researching everything for days and days. So you don't want to be doing that. But I mean, just reverse engineering can make you successful. What are people already buying? What's popular? What are people spending money on? What are the trends? And you can use tools like Google AdWords and look at the Google search volume inside there. And there's other types of trends. You can see what types of magazines people are buying, what people are spending money on Amazon for content, what people are most interested in, and say, okay, well, if people are buying that, why don't I create something already in that marketplace, instead of, and I want to say I see this a lot. So I work with book publishers quite a bit, and I see this a lot too, where people are interested in making money with their publishing, but they end up publishing really obscure topics that has no market interest really at all. And it's just much easier to say, okay, I'm going to publish something or put something out there that's already in a topic people actually know are interested in and are spending money on.
Right. And that data is so easy to find nowadays.
Yeah, it is. It's very true. I'm actually putting together a new niche membership thing, and one of the topics I'm finding that people are really excited about is Minecraft. It's huge,
Yes.
So
So
and
huge.
it's huge, and I'm thinking, okay, well, how can people monetize Minecraft? And that's what I'm putting together, are some strategies and things for people to monetize Minecraft. And so, like Matt said, if you just do a little bit of research, you can already see what's huge and just jump into that pool. And it's just makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, and there's so much data out there. The biggest thing, guys, is just not to get bogged down in that research phase. Like Amy said, it's sometimes, us as internet marketers, we generally just tend to be information consumers, right? We just love more information, and it can be easy sometimes to sit there and just become a zombie watching videos, either reading ebooks or listening to audios. But if you get stuck in that rut, it's just a little bit harder to take action. You want to learn, but you also want to get the information out of your head at the same time. You don't want to just keep cramming it in and not taking any action.
That's very true, and I will say personally that before I created my first product, I spent time looking at products and stuff, and I didn't have anything happen for me really until I created my first product and put it out there. That's when things started happening, when I started building a following, making more money, and getting more opportunities. So definitely the action.
Yeah. And how many of you guys feel that way? Like you've, maybe spent so much time in front of the computer just listening and learning and reading, but you really haven't had any results from it, and you're really kind of not sure really what to do with that information. You have a lot of information up there in your head, but how do you get it out? What do you do with it? And once you do, how do you sell it? How do you monetize that? If any of you guys in that same boat, Sylvia says definitely. Kyle says me. Chris says yes. Nikki says right. I have, says Brian. Perpetual student mode. Oscar, that's a great quote there. Heather says that's me. Exactly. Yes, me. Yes, possibly. Yes, yep, yes, sure. Definitely. I think we've all been there, guys. That's, like I said, it's just sort of the nature of the internet marketing business, and that's kind of what we go through. So for sure.
So we've done our research, we've created our product, we've decided on the marketplace. So you might be thinking, well, okay, where do I promote my product? How am I going to sell it? And a lot of times, if you're smart and you're using some of these built-in marketplaces at first, you will start seeing sales without having to do heavy promotion right off the bat. You don't necessarily have to go out and spend 80 hours a week promoting or a lot of money or anything like that, especially if you have that target audience and you're already creating something that's solution-oriented, that they're already interested in buying, and you're putting it in a marketplace where they're hanging out at. So that's solving a lot of this traffic problems for you already. That being said, I think I just want to mention some of these traffic methods that work, just so you do have some options out there. you know, social media, related groups and forums. This can be really powerful for connecting with people who are interested in your niche and in your topic. And I mean, with social media, obviously, you're not necessarily doing a hard sell, but it is easy to see what that audience is looking for and see what they want to buy, and getting in touch with them and building relationships with them. One of my favorite traffic methods too is doing slideshows and videos. I love doing slideshows and then putting them on slideshare.net, and then, you know, having a link to paid product or whatever, and doing that. It works really well. You can generate a lot of traffic that way. The same with videos. I mean, videos are such a huge traffic stream, you know, and it would be remiss if you were doing free traffic methods if you didn't do some type of video. But again, you can keep it very simple. You can create a slideshow and then turn it into a video. You don't need a green screen. You don't need to be like in front of the camera. I mean, you can if you want to, but you
Right.
don't have to. And, you know, getting the videos out there. Reports, you know, if you've created a paid product here, you can take a small section of that and create something free that then leads people to the paid product as well. So that's another way you can repurpose. And also, just with repurposing, you can do the same thing with that slideshow. It's really easy to create slideshows from a few different things out of your paid product. You can take a few tips or a few nuggets, create a couple short slideshows with those, and then again, you're directing people back to that paid product. So you're not having to do a lot of extra work, which I think is nice. And your blog, if you have a blog or some place where you can post types of content, that's going to help, again, get your following, the following you might already have, and get them, you know, over to looking at your paid product. And then paid advertising can also be effective. Facebook is probably the largest right now. A lot of people are using Facebook very successfully. And what I want to also put out there, and I don't know if this is something you guys talk too much about in Mobe, is Bing. Bing is really great. It's kind of like where Google AdWords was like 10 years ago or something. You can get clicks pretty cheap, and it can be pretty effective. So that's one that I've been using with pretty good results. And I know this isn't a course on a training on doing advertising, but just, you know, if you're getting some traction, if you're starting to see sales with what you already have out there because you've chosen the right marketplace, and you want to scale it up or you want to do a little bit more, then these are some good options that I've found for me that have been effective in getting the word out and selling more.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people starting to move over to Bing. You know, it's just sort of even, you know, the fact that it's less expensive than Google AdWords, and you can afford to fail a little bit more. You can take your bumps a little bit. It's a little bit easier and not so expensive doing it via Bing. And, you know, if you guys go ahead and like Google like a Bing credit or Bing advertising credit, you can go out there, you can find a 50, or sometimes there's promotional $100 credits, and you can get your first $50 in ad spend 100% free. So, and you know, look at all these methods on the screen, guys. We're at such a unique point in history, like history of the world I'm talking about, where it's so much easier to distribute content than it was 20 years ago. If you wanted to create an information product 20 years ago, what did you have to do? You'd have to get like a production studio and produce a documentary film, or you'd have to actually get a physical book published. You'd have to like write the whole thing, go to a publisher and get that done, or maybe pay to have something put into a newspaper. Nowadays, it's so much easier. I've heard maybe 3 or 4 things on this webinar that Amy's mentioned that I had never even heard of before that might be potential avenues to release information products. So it's so much easier than it used to be, and I hope you guys are starting to connect those dots and see the potential that you have here, and the potential reach and the potential for you guys to brand yourselves and really elevate your status. This is great stuff, guys. If you guys are digging this, go ahead and let us know in the chat box that you're getting some value out of this and that this is making sense to you, because I'm having some light bulbs go off over here. I hope you guys are too. So, yep, I see some yeses coming into the chat box. Kyle, Sylvia, Brian, Tamsin, Peter, Al. Yep, you guys are all on the same page. So definitely, thank you, Amy.
Great, great. And I just also want to throw out a little tip there. You know, if you're feeling like, oh, well, that's a bit overwhelming to do all this stuff, what I do is I outsource some of the stuff, like on Fiverr. I actually found a guy on Fiverr for about $20 to help me, you know, that helped me optimize in my Bing ad campaign and upload the keywords. So it was great, because I don't like messing around with that type of stuff. You can get people on Fiverr to do slideshows, videos for you, things like that. So if you're thinking like, oh, I want to try this, but it's a bit overwhelming, you know, head over to Fiverr, spend $5 and get somebody to do something basic for you and see how it works out. And then you can also scale it up more at that point.
True, true. I mean, why spend a few hours, trying to tool around with something or looking at how to do something when you could just spend $5 and just, leverage somebody else's ability and have them do it for you. Probably do a better job too.
Yeah, you don't want to see my graphic design skills, that's for sure.
Hey, we're in the same boat with that, Amy, for sure.
Well, I'm glad that everyone, people responding in the chat box, you guys are getting a lot of value out of this, and I hope you now have some awesome ideas of how you can monetize your own experience, knowledge, or interest and create very fast paid products that, you're going to have buyers jumping up and down for. It's just really exciting. And that, leads me to having and talking more about actually going from just talking about it to getting you on the track to do this in 30 days or less. And I actually have a more of an immersive, but still easy to get through 4-session bootcamp style training. And what this does is it provides everything you need to go from no product to a profitable product in 30 days or less. Because as we've been talking about, getting that product out quickly is just so important on so many levels. And that's really what this training is geared for. It's really geared toward taking you from I don't have anything and I don't know what I'm doing to actually releasing a product that makes you money within 30 days if you follow along with the training.
So one month essentially, you can have your own product out there, published and ready to profit from that product.
Right, right. And the whole training, and I'll walk you through here what the sessions cover, is it actually covers too, after your product is released, how you can make sure that you're making money from that. So you're going to learn how to create a profitable in-demand product. You're going to learn some of the factors that are going to separate a product that sells from something that's a dud. You're going to learn how to avoid product creation pitfalls, where you can sell your product, and also just a lot of the other sort of nuts and bolts and the framework that you need so you can confidently go from no product to a product that's selling in 30 days.
And that's I think there's a lot of people here in the audience who like this idea, but maybe if they had to do it all on their own, it might take a little bit longer than 30 days, or like we mentioned a couple slides back, you might just get into that research mode and really just never get out of it. Your wheels just keep spinning. And 30 days, how many of you guys have been involved with Mobe or other affiliate marketing opportunities for the last 30 days, right? How many of you guys have been in a program for 30 days and have still kind of struggled to really hit a home run or make the sort of commissions that you were hoping to? And let me know. I want to see it in the chat box if you guys feel that way. Now, I see a lot of me's and a lot of yeses, definitely. Tom rather says 9 months. So I mean, that's a long time, right? So think about this, guys. If you, within 30 days from today, this is June 4th, 2015, we're talking July 4th, maybe you might not kick it off on the 4th of July, but within 30 days, if you had your own product, how much easier would it be for you to go ahead and make a sale? How much easier would it be for you to go ahead and promote Mobe if you had your own product and you had a buyer list? Do you guys think that would make it even just a slight bit easier to go ahead and make a sale and earn a commission if 30 days from now you had your own physical product that you could go ahead and release on these different marketplaces? So much easier. Michael says, I think you're talking to me. Robert says much easier. Brian says yes. Lucy says, oh yeah. Way easier. Yes, great. Oh, yes. What an advantage that would be. Yeah, you're 100% right, Sylvia. It would be a huge advantage for you. Al says it would be easy. I guarantee you, Al, it'd be a heck of a lot easier than it is now if you don't have your own product, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to jumpstart you and give you that momentum that you need to then start seeing those commissions and sales and so forth, with affiliate marketing or other things that you're doing. It's the product creation piece is going to fit in with the other stuff that's happening and make you become even more successful with that.
Anything that you promote, right.
Very, very true. So with these sessions here, what we're doing is what I'm doing with these is I'm touching on that 20% that's really essential for you, and we're moving through that so you can follow along while we're going through those. With session 1, I'm going to be sharing research and discovery tactics so you can find hot topics. I know we didn't talk too much today about research, but we go into more detail. I'm going to be talking about how to avoid those failure roadblocks and how you can take pretty much any type of knowledge you have and turn it into a product. In the second session, we're going to be actually getting into the specific formats for your product, the easiest ways to sell your product, the best markets for your product, what your product needs to have so you can have your product be a winning product. And that's really where we're starting from that ground up, and we're saying, okay, successful products have this, and you need to put these elements in here, and you don't want to have these. So it's really helping you be successful with this right from the beginning, so you're including the things that need to include, but you're not wasting your time and energy on stuff that's not going to matter.
So true. That's huge. I mean, you guys, if you sat there and wasted your time in a certain situation when you could have been doing something else, following Amy's direction, and just getting that product out there within the next 30 days.
Yes, and then session 3, we're going to go into a little bit of that ancillary stuff. I saw there were some questions about this in the box, actually. We're going to talk about ways you can create powerful sales letters without having to be a copywriter. Going to talk about making sure your product looks professional without having to be a graphic designer. The types of things you want to include in your product and with your product to make your buyers raving fans and want to buy from you over and over again. How to get testimonials so you can get testimonials to help you pre-sell your product. And the best price points that sell, so you can make sure that when you put your product in the marketplace, it's at that right selling point that's going to sell quickly for you.
True. And I have testimonials from some of my first products 5 or 6 years ago back that I still utilize. I still have them on my website now, and they don't need to be dated. It's still a testimonial. It's still you, and it's still what you did, and you can utilize that, guys, for years to come in your marketing, years to come.
Yes, they're just invaluable. In session 4 really focuses on how to take your product that's now out in the marketplace, maximize your profits from that product, turn those buyers into repeat customers. So I'm not saying, oh, you've released a product, I'm done. This whole session is all about what to do next after you've put your product out there. How to get people on board to sell your product for you, and how to rinse and repeat and use these strategies for your next product. So it's really taking what you've done and then moving it into becoming more successful, making more profits with this particular product, and then using it in creating another product so you can keep being successful.
That's huge.
And the main with this too is not only is it going to be sort of the session boot camp style, but I'm also going to be providing checklists as well, and a bunch of other types of documents that are going to help you follow along so you can actually do the work. Because it's one thing to sit here and absorb information, and I think that's great. It's exciting. But I'm going to be providing you with strategic checklists and strategy plans that's going to actually take you from just sitting there and saying, okay, I'm understanding this, to actually doing it. And that way, the way it's broken down, you're going to be able to do each of those action steps for each of the sessions, and that's going to move you from that 0 to having that completed product, because you're going to have action steps along with each of these sessions as well, which I think is very helpful.
Yeah, for sure. That's big. I mean, after you absorb the content, you might need to say, hey, what do I do next? Well, Amy's got that covered for you. She gives you the action steps, exactly what you need to do step by step in order to implement what you just learned within these sessions.
Exactly. And you can also reach out to me as well. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. So if you have specific questions or anything like that, you can always reach out to me, and I can answer your question or help you out with this as well. And know that I'm going to be here holding you accountable too, and I think that's also going to be something that's going to help you, move from thinking, oh, nobody cares, to yes, there's somebody working with me, and they're my partner in success, and I'm really excited to get started with this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just even listening to you here on this call, I can tell that this is what you do. This is your background. This is your experience. Having the ability to bounce ideas or ask you questions would be huge. I mean, if you had to pay somebody with your experience for personal coaching, it would cost hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars to try and book a coaching session with somebody like you. But we have all of your knowledge broken down into these 4 sessions. You give us the action steps. You're also available if we have any questions. I think that's kind of the whole package wrapped up right there.
Yeah, it's really exciting because it's giving you everything you need to be successful, but it's also putting it in a time frame. So it's the 30 days, and I think that's really going to be right from the beginning, saying, okay, I know I don't have to wait 3 months, I know I don't have to wait 6 months or a year, I can actually do this in 30 days, so let's do it.
Right, right.
So here we have the place where you can go ahead and get this and check it out, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it too. And like I said, we do have the checklist, templates and task sheets. I know there was a particular word I was looking for, and that was the task sheets. And for the session, so you can stay on track and have your homework done. I know somebody was asking about homework assignments and things like that. And it's mobe.com/30 days. I know we're going to put that in the chat box. And we do also have a bonus as well.
Yep, I just dropped that in the chat box, and these are the 4 sessions that Amy was just talking about, guys. You can check them out at mobe.com/30 days, and Amy's going to talk about a bonus here too for anybody that takes advantage within. How long is it, Amy? Within the next 24 hours?
Yes, the next 24 hours, because you have the 30 days, so let's get you started on this as soon as possible. So yes, within the next 24 hours. This is a really, really awesome bonus. What it is it's what I like to call content accelerators. And it's actually a bunch of really highly in-demand topics broken down not only by large category, but also subcategory and then subtopics. So for example, under the internet marketing, there's a whole section on social media, and then there's a section on Google+. And in Google+, there is 50 different subtopics which you can take and create a specific product around each subtopic. So basically, what I'm giving you is I'm giving you a whole a list of in-demand topics that you can create a product around. You can just pick one of these topics and create an in-demand product, or take it and modify it. And it actually works out to like 3,900 and some topics, and they cover business and social media and marketing, and then there's also some that cover health and things like that. And these are really awesome. They're really high quality, and they really help you if you're sort of spinning your wheels or not sure what area you want to focus on. They're going to help you find that focus, and you can just say, okay, I already know a little bit, I know something about this, I'm interested in this, and you can latch on to that topic and then take it and expand it and create a product.
That's huge. So you've already gone ahead and given us a bunch of good ideas to take action on. So you guys don't need to sit there and waste your time trying to do the research. Amy's already provided that for us, but that's not always included. That's part of the bonus. If you guys take advantage of this here, mobe.com/30 days, and you pick up Publish, Sell, and Profit in 30 days or less, this bonus is going to be included. If you take advantage within the next 24 hours, you're going to get access to those, and that's just going to help save you time. It's going to help you get your product out there, like it says, within the next 30 days. You're not going to kick around for a few days trying to come up with ideas. You guys are going to be ready to dive into the content, absorb it, and take action right away. Amy's put everything out there that we need to go ahead and teach us what we need to do, and also go ahead to give us that little kick in the butt that we need sometimes to go ahead and actually put it to work and take action.
Yeah, and there's so many great topics included in that bonus that you can not only use it for your first product, but also for subsequent products as well. And one of the things I talk about in the training is how you can expand and create more of a product line, and that's also really helpful for that too, because it's going to lend itself naturally to follow-up products and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, you guys, I will get to some questions here in just a few minutes, but I mean, earlier in the webinar, you guys said that you could understand how having your own product would elevate your status and your brand, and how that could potentially help make you additional sales in any opportunity that you're involved in, especially with Mobe. And even if it helped you generate one MTTB sale, that almost would pay for this product in itself. So I know a lot of you guys are asking, how much this is. What do you guys think the type of value of something like this would be? What would you guys pay to have your own product out there in 30 days that would give you such an advantage over other people in the marketplace to go ahead and make additional commissions, whether it be with Mobe or any other affiliate marketing opportunity? If if you made one MLR sale, it would pay for this 10 times over. So you guys need to, Chris says $50,000. Chris, and you know what, Chris? There's a lot of people out there that have paid that much money with a branding coach to go ahead and elevate their brand and their status. And I'll tell you what, if you want to pay $50,000, I'll send you my PayPal email right now, and me and Amy will make this happen for you. Mike says he already knows the price. Gary says priceless, especially when it can make you more money. Absolutely, Gary. And that's exactly what it's all about. It's not only going to make you more money with you being able to sell your actual product, but it's also those testimonials that you get. It's the experience that you get. It's the branding and the credibility that you get amongst others in the marketplace when you actually have your own product out there. And Leslie's right, guys. This is $97, okay? Peter says it's a must-have. Sylvia says, Gary, so true. And Sylvia says, this will help you build your list for Mobe. Absolutely. Tom says his guess was $197. Tom, go to mobe.com/30 days. You'll save $100 right now. Leslie says it's a good value. Brian says all great tools pay for themselves. That's so spot on, Brian. I guarantee you, if you guys buy this today, implement this, in 30 days you have your own product, it absolutely will pay for itself, 100%. And another thing to keep in mind, guys, we've been on this call now for about 70 minutes, all right, 71 minutes almost to be exact. And how many of you guys had some value from this call? How many of you guys had some light bulbs and some aha moments and could really see what the potential would be for you if you had your own product in the marketplace? Now, I ask you to imagine not just one session, but if you had 4 sessions that were much more dialed in. This is just sort of an introduction. It's a rough overview. How many of you guys would get a lot more value out of 4 more in-depth bootcamp style sessions with the additional training materials and the additional additional guides you need to go ahead and take action? So Sylvia says me. Robert says absolutely. Lucy says I did. Value. Yes, I did. Michael says me, quite a few. Yes, thank you. Yes, for sure. No brainer. Richard says even at 3 a.m. You're right, Richard. No matter what time of day or night it is, it's still valuable. Brian got lots of nuggets. Really amazing. Yes, definitely. Absolutely, guys. You guys are all spot on. So if this is something that you guys are interested in, if it's something you guys want to know more about, go ahead. Mobe.com/30 days. I just dropped the link in the chat box again. Go ahead, check it out. $97 you're going to invest. How many of you guys have invested more than $97 previous to today? Let me know in the chat box. What type of dollar figures have you guys invested in internet marketing or in your education so far? What have you guys invested? And what do you have because of it? Do you have your own product out there on the marketplace? Do you have that yet? Do you have your credibility and your branding established? Do you have any testimonials under your belt? Have you guys ever sold your own product and profited because of that? Do you have a buyer list? What do you think? What value do you think a buyer list would have in this type of market? So Tom says he spent over $3,000. Chris says he spent over $10,000 easily. So Peter and Brian both said the same exact thing, thousands. Jeffrey says a lot more. Gary says still no personal product. So Chris says own branding, ebook, and ongoing list. Yeah, absolutely. Sylvia says this would be super. So over 10,000, says Jeffrey. So that's a ton of money. We're not asking you to spend $1,000. We're not asking you to spend $500. It's $97. Okay. I know a lot of you guys here on this call have invested a lot more, even just with Mobe. So I know Mobe isn't the only thing a lot of you guys are involved with, but another $97, you're going to have your own product in 30 days. Is that powerful? Do you guys see where Amy's coming from here? Do you guys see where Amy has been doing this for a long time now? She is definitely the pro in this regard. Do you think that she could help you get your own product there in 30 days? And do you think that would be pretty powerful? Randy says it's a done deal. And yeah, so how many of you guys have actually already gone ahead to mobe.com/30 days and already made the purchase? Let me know in the chat box, because you guys are going to qualify to get that bonus that we talked about, but only if you take action within the next day or so. So yep, question. Kyle says he has a question, and we'll get to that in just a second, Kyle. And Pamela says working on it now. Good deal. And yep, absolutely. And Michael says asking me if I could do 3 products parallel at the same time. Amy, what do you think about that? Would you suggest that somebody kind of concentrate on 3 things at the same time?
Not if you haven't released a product yet. I'm at the point now where I like to concentrate on, I do multiple projects, but if you haven't released your first product yet, I would suggest focusing on that first product and getting that out there and getting a couple under your belt, and then at that point you can maybe do several at once if you want to do that.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing too. And Mike says okay, so you definitely got that. Heather says she's going to get it. Nikki asks, are the sessions webinars? How are those sessions delivered, Amy?
Yes, they're boot camp sessions. They are webinars with Q&A, and you can have the downloadable recordings. But then there's also the task sheets, templates, and checklists. They're with every session, so you also get those as well, not just the video. So it's the video plus all the supporting material that you would then follow up with to move forward on those product creation steps.
Awesome, awesome. And Dory asked, I believe that's how you say your name, Dory, do we have to do anything after buying within 24 hours to get the bonus? No, you do not. We've configured that so the bonus is going to be automatically delivered if you purchase within the next 24 hours. So you don't need to send an email to me or anything like that. We're going to keep it nice and easy for you guys. If you do make the purchase before 10 o'clock tomorrow, you will qualify for that bonus. Nikki says she's in. Sylvia says copywriting, question mark. Sylvia, not sure exactly what the question is there, but maybe I'm guessing, does Amy have any sort of assistance with helping you with copywriting? How about that, Amy?
Yes, I do. In session 3, we talk about how to create your sales letter, and I also provide you with sales letter templates. You can create an effective sales letter without having to spend thousands on a copywriter. Of course, you can hire a copywriter later, once if you want to reinvest what you have for other products, but I provide you with templates and guidance for creating sales letters that convert, but that you can do yourself as well. Because I started
Awesome.
that too. I don't consider myself first and foremost a copywriter, but I've written the majority of my sales letters.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know a lot of you guys maybe aren't too versed in copywriting, but Amy's done it all for us, guys. She's put all the building blocks together. She's put everything we need to go ahead and take action. And you guys can see by the breakdowns of the sessions, and you guys can, if you missed those on the slide, you can see them there at mobe.com/30 days. The content of each session is discussed again, so you guys can see what's going on. And Sylvia says, I know patenting can get expensive. That's why I asked. And don't get too complicated with it, Sylvia. Like Amy said earlier in the presentation, money loves speed. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard Matt talk about it before, where he just talks about, look, just get it out there, and then you can refine it. You can always tweak it later on. But the biggest thing is just getting it out there, because unfortunately, guys, look, the reality is, unfortunately, most of us won't take action with this, right? If you guys leave this webinar here tonight and you say, look, I have all the ideas in my head, I'm going to release my own product. If you don't go ahead and purchase Amy's product tonight, and if you don't have somebody there to kind of give you that nudge, if you don't have the content already structured that's proven to work for others, you probably won't take action. I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm just being real with you guys. If you guys have been involved with internet marketing and affiliate marketing for months upon months and still aren't where you want to be, you need to start changing what you're doing in order to achieve the desired results you want to get to. So, just keep that in mind, guys. I know we did kind of drop a lot of golden nuggets out there tonight. We probably gave you enough to go ahead and maybe kind of start to do your own thing, but what's going to happen when you have to design an ebook cover and you can't do that? Or what's going to happen when you actually have to, figure out how to upload your video to Udemy, or you have to figure out some other marketplaces to go to, or maybe you have to figure out how to configure a free report that leads to an upsell where you could ask for money for that. So all this stuff Amy has covered for us, guys. I think you could tell by the way Amy presented these slides and the different things that she said on tonight's webinar, you could tell she's the pro here, okay? And these are the types of people that you want to learn from and you want to get involved with. It's so much easier than doing it yourself when you have a mentor that's been there and done that. It absolutely is. And I know, some of you guys are asking some questions in here now. Let me just try and take a look through. And
Great.
So Dory says, does this product go into how to get, I just lost it, go into how to get products listed as one of Mobe's affiliate offers? Dory, it probably doesn't specifically mention the Mobe Marketplace only because it's so new, but that's going to be very similar. Actually, the Mobe Marketplace is even easier than the others because we in Mobe handle all that for you. So if you go ahead and create your own product and you want to upload that to the marketplace, all you need to do is get in touch with us and send it over, and we actually handle all of that. So really, the Mobe Marketplace could potentially be one of the easiest marketplaces to go ahead and get your product listed. Kyle says to Amy, you said we should create a product for sales, but is that okay if we create a product for free to know if that product will be effective? What do you think about that, Amy?
I think it's really better to jump in to create a lower ticket product that you can sell first. That's going to have you be invested more in it and making sure that it's providing value for money, and I think it's going to put you on the success track faster. And the reason I say that is because I do see people sort of flounder around creating a lot of free content when they don't have paid content as well, and they're just not able to get where they want to be because they're still trying to convert that free traffic content into paid, paid income, and it's just it's more difficult to do. I think it's faster and easier if you have a paid product.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said earlier in the call, Kyle, you're going to be surprised. You may want to put it out there to free just to kind of gauge reaction, but there are people out there that will pay for it, and why leave money on the table, right? You would definitely be surprised at how many people would pay for the knowledge that you have up in your head. So I'm just going to look at these other questions here. No, V says, is Mobe Marketplace only for IM products? Absolutely not, V. We're definitely expanding. I think even now, if you check it out, there's Forex products and all kinds of different products up there now. They're definitely not limited to just IM. Al is saying, he's having a problem signing up. The form will not accept your info. Any suggestions? Yeah, Al, I may try. We might have some traffic hitting the page now. Maybe try a different browser. If you're still having an issue, what you can do is you can contact finance and we can get you squared away. I also had somebody ask about a different payment format, and Alexander, maybe you can try contacting finance as well, and we can get that squared away for you. If that's the only way you have to pay, we can try and work with you there. Gary says, how do you know what kind of value to put on your product that you create? Is this covered in the bootcamp?
I do talk about pricing strategies and what the average length of and what format you put in and what you can charge for that. So that is covered.
Right. Michael says, absolutely. He shares a lot of value in the Facebook community for free, and now he will charge them a small amount. Mike, see, there you go. Now that you can go ahead and charge for that. That's going to become an additional profit center for you. And not only that, but once people start paying for your products, you could ask them what they think, ask them for testimonials, start turning your wheels there. You could say, hey, you could get my next product half off if you give me a video testimonial. How powerful would it be to have a video testimonial of your product, what somebody thinks of your product on maybe your YouTube channel or something like that? Do you guys ever notice with the Mobe promotional videos, do you notice that there are other people in those videos sort of recommending Mobe and talking about their success with Mobe? And that's because it works, guys. That's because that's how real big internet marketing is done. You need to leverage the testimonials of others, and you absolutely need that in your marketing. Nikki, let me see. Try it again in a few minutes, Nikki. If you're still having issues, we'll get you squared away with finance. Leslie, let me see here. I'll read this. Matt, what happened with my question? To see value in this, I can write a report on what not to do online. Then I have ebooks with resale rights that I do not know how to sell. Would this work for me? Leslie, I think what you're saying here is that you can write a report of what not to do online. That couple slides back, that was one of the things that Amy mentioned as sort of an idea kickoff, what not to do, or 5 things not to do, and things like that. And that's why Amy's course is going to help you get what you guys have in your head, and it's going to help you get it onto paper and into a format where somebody's willing to pay for it, and you're going to help somebody else learn as well.
Right, and people love seeing people's mistakes. They love it. So if you want to share mistakes and trials and tribulations, people enjoy that, especially if they're learning from that like you've learned from that.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like we said, sometimes knowing what not to do is just as valuable as knowing what to do.
One thing I sort of want to...
Sorry, Amy. Mary Lou says, is this offered on a regular basis? Mary Lou, it is, but not the bonuses. The bonuses are not offered on a regular basis. Those are only going to be available for the next 24 hours. Olafemi says, will this link be active to purchase next week? Also, will this book format help to upsell other Mobe higher ticket products? I think it absolutely will help to sell you other Mobe high ticket Mobe products, Olafemi. If you produce this ebook and it may talk about depending on what your topic you want it to be, you could have links in your ebook either to your blog or your Mobe affiliate links, talking about how you've made money online. Really, I think the sky's the limit here. I think we've heard Amy talk about all the different types of niches we could target. It's not strictly just going to be internet marketing or necessarily Mobe in general.
Right, right. I
And
cover other niches as well, not just internet marketing. Some of the examples are from there, but I cover other niches too. And one of the things, Matt has been talking a lot too about authority, and we talked a little bit about the beginning, how you can build your authority with a product. And sort of one thing I want to share with that is if you feel like, well, I don't know if I have a big personality or I need to want to let it all hang out there and put myself out there, I just want to say that there's room for all types of personalities, and you don't have to have sort of a big, marketing personality to be successful as a product creator. I don't. I tend to be sort of more mellow and laid back, and you can be successful with that as well. So if you feel like I have a lot of things I want to share, or I'm interested in this, your personality will work with this. People like and are refreshed with hearing other people's points of view, and you don't have to feel like you have to be fake or you have to do something different than what you're already doing or present yourself in a completely different way. You can be a product creator and sell products, being you and doing that.
yeah, definitely. Believe me, guys, there's a lot of internet marketers out there with their own products that are that are very shy, not necessarily outgoing people. I never used to be that outgoing myself, but that's sort of changed a little bit. But Leslie says, what are the bonuses again? Could you touch on that real quick, Amy?
Sure. The bonus that we have here, the 24-hour bonus, is a extensive group of what I like to call content accelerators. And what they are is there are categories, topics and subtopics where you get specific topic ideas. So there's a category of marketing, and then there's some different subtopics, or social media, and then there's different subtopics like Pinterest and Facebook and Google+. And then those are broken down even further where you get very specific topic and product ideas for each of those subcategories. And they're just given to you. And these are topics that people are interested in, and you can just basically take those topics and create a product out of it.
Definitely. And Mary Lou says, is this a book or a course? These are all delivered via video, but there are other training materials included as well, Mary Lou. And Sharon says, I like to know about information on the type of money needed to create products. That's a good question. I think that's a great question, Sharon. Amy, generally, with your students, what sort of investment do they make above and beyond the $97 to go ahead and actually get their product to market without advertising or marketing?
You can do it very low cost. You probably will want to have a small investment for getting your graphic design done for your cover, and having that done. And then other than that, for the most part, if you have a computer and you're able to do it, have a few basic tools, you really don't need to spend much money at all. Of course, there's a lot of areas you can scale up at and invest in money. The other recommendation I would have would be to have an autoresponder so you can collect your list, because with product creation, when you sell a product, those people are becoming your buyer, and you want to have a way to communicate with them and collect those leads. So getting your graphics done and then having an autoresponder are I think like the two main expenses.
Yeah, and I'd imagine most of you guys here probably in attendance already have your own autoresponders. And I'm not sure necessarily what Amy's best recommendations are for ebook covers, but I can tell you I've had those done on Fiverr too. That's not a significant investment at all. It's generally pretty low cost. I mean, if you want to get the best ebook cover creator, I mean, you're probably talking like $35 or $50 or something like that, but you can get it done for $5 or $10 pretty easily.
Yes.
And Gary says, for the graphic design, is that a service you provide, or do you just recommend a designer? Gary, I mean, really, you could even post within Facebook groups. You could find somebody, I'm sure, that could help you with an ebook cover. And Chris says Fiverr. Yep, absolutely. But like we said, there may be some other vendors out there, maybe a little bit more professional, that might be able to do a little bit better job. But again, speed loves money. Go with the $5 option, get it out there, and then you could always have a better one designed, split test it, see which one performs better, and then kind of move forward with the better performing ebook cover. So Leslie says, do you need a merchant account to collect your money for the people buying your product? Amy, I think we touched on that maybe a little bit, but what do you think about that? Do you need a merchant account? Do you need to worry about setting up credit card processing, and do you need to go through all of that in order to release a product?
No, you don't, and I do talk about different options there. My setup for direct sales is PayPal with Stripe. Stripe takes credit cards, but you don't have to apply. They don't check your credit or anything like that. And it's a great with that, but I also talk a lot about using other marketplaces as well, where they will take your payments for you and then pay you. I think probably the minimum, it would be good to have either PayPal if you can, if not maybe Stripe and or both, but you can get started selling products with no merchant account or anything like that. You don't have to pay fees up front or anything along those lines.
Right, and you don't have to worry about filling out that paperwork or things like that, Leslie. Like Udemy, the Warrior Forum. A lot of the different things that we mentioned earlier in this presentation allow you to go ahead and accept payments without having to do much at all. As long as you have a PayPal account, you'll be good to go. Trudy says, what are the autoresponders that you recommend? Trudy, me personally, usually Aweber, GetResponse, MailChimp. I'm sure there's others out there, but those are three of some of the more popular. So Chris says, yep, just get it done. Absolutely, Chris. And that's the number one problem really is just getting it done. Unfortunately, we all know what we need to do. It's just a matter of actually taking action and doing it. Leslie says, how much is the international fee on the purchase? It's very small, Leslie. You're not going to pay much in merchant fees. If you guys have accepted PayPal payments in the past, then you're familiar with that. And another thing to keep in mind too is generally with these courses and these ebooks, we're talking pretty low ticket. Generally less than $20 unless it gets to be more extensive. But you're not going to pay much in fees at all. So Chris says action provides results. Yep, spot on, Chris, 100%. So. If you guys have any other questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat box. If you don't have any other questions, go ahead and visit mobe.com/30 days. Take advantage of this while you guys have the opportunity. Make sure you grab those bonuses that Amy's willing to offer up for the next 24 hours or so. So Olafemi says, if you're not in the webinar, can you still get a bonus? An affiliate is watching on an iPad but wants the bonus. Olafemi, if they take advantage of this within the next 24 hours, they'll get that bonus. So Leslie says, oh, for the product to buy this, it's $97. This course right here is $97. And Kyle says, can you post again? Absolutely, Kyle. I'll drop that link in the chat box for you guys again. Whoops, sorry. Try it again. There you go. Pamela, if you're having trouble, visit mobe.com/support. I'm not sure, maybe it might be the card, it might be our merchant account, because unfortunately we're not using Udemy or some of the other vendors out there. We do have our own merchant account, and with it being located overseas, sometimes there's an issue there. But if you do open a ticket with Mobe support, mobe.com/support, I'll drop that in the chat box as well. But yeah, we'll help get you squared away. So sometimes there is an issue with the international transactions. Essentially, this would be an international transaction. So I'll drop this here. I think there's probably 2 or 3 of you guys having an issue there. So Christine says she joined late. What is the bonus, and is there a replay? Thanks heaps. There will be a replay. And Amy, maybe one more time, just mention the bonus, and I promise it'll be the last time I ask.
Sure. It's bonus is 3,950, I believe, content accelerators, which are subtopics of highly desired types of content that you can take and run with and create products out of.
Awesome. So yeah, Pamela, if you have an issue, I'll make sure you guys get the bonus. Anybody that contacts support for these purchases, I'll make sure you guys get the bonus as well. I'll follow up with support regarding that. And if you guys have any other questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat box. Amy spent, about 90 minutes with us here on the call. I think you guys have gotten some value from it, at least, last time I asked you did. If you appreciate Amy spending some time with us here tonight, go ahead and let me know in the chat box. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know that you guys absolutely did get some value from this. And also, I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and let me know. I got a Facebook post here that I just made, and I just want to let everybody else know about this webinar and that we're going to have a replay coming. I want to let them know what the feedback has been. So I'm going to drop this in the chat box. Just go ahead and leave a quick comment on this thread. Let everybody else know within the Mobe community. That's Matt Lloyd's Facebook group right there. Okay, if you're not a member, request to join. I'll make sure you get approved ASAP. But I'd just like to see some comments on that thread before I go ahead and post the replay there. I want to make sure we let everybody else in the community know what this webinar was all about. So Kyle says, thank you, Miss Amy. Trudy says, high five. It's really amazing. Leslie says it's great. And Michael says, bye for now, was great. Nikki says, terrific content. So Chris, I'll ask Amy right now, what's your main source of traffic that you use, Amy, at this stage?
I would say at this stage, it's my own buyers list and also my JV partners.
Bingo. And guys, that's, again, some of the power. Once you start releasing your own products, you don't need to go out there and pay for traffic. Your Aweber list is going to be your best source of traffic, and I definitely second that. I have my Aweber list. That's usually my best source of traffic. Again, guys, because once people purchase from you, they're much more likely to act on your recommendations and believe in you and what you have to say. So Linda says, thank you, Matt and Amy. Great information. Gary says this was great. Got a lot more than I had anticipated. That's awesome, Gary. We're always thrilled to over deliver for you. Pamela says, Amy, thank you for your time and knowledge. So happy I joined tonight. Heather says, thanks, Amy. Lots of value. Ernest, I received great value. Just keep going down. Thank you, Miss Amy. It's really helpful. You're amazing. Very useful information and well presented. Yes, awesome. Thank you. Terrific. Great content. And you guys that are commenting, go ahead to that Facebook post. I want you guys to leave these same comments there so that everybody else knows that they need to get on this call and watch this replay when I go ahead and post it later tonight. So Peter says, thank you. Very informative. Ernest says, mahalo. Plenty for the teaching and learning. Lucy, thank you for providing such great info. Thank you, Amy. Very informative. Okay, you have your own list of customers. Chris, yep, absolutely. That's what you could potentially have. And guys, think about it. Once you have this list of your own customers in Aweber, and then you start recommending Mobe, that's such an easier way to do it, guys. And to be honest, that's what the top performers do. They have their own products out there. They have their own list. They have their own following, and it makes it so much easier to promote anything once you have that. So Chris says, great webinar. Kyle says, you're amazing. Thanks so much. Great stuff. Easy to follow. Anne-Marie says, thank you, Amy. Loved your ideas. And Nadia says, rushed home from work and was not disconnected or not disappointed. Thanks, guys. Awesome, Nadia. Hopefully you didn't get a speeding ticket. Robert says, sweet content. Awesome. Awesome. So good, Chris. Yeah, Chris laughs out loud. Good. I'm glad you guys got some value out of this. If you guys don't have any other questions, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But please, mobe.com/30 days. Go ahead, visit there, take advantage of this. $97, guys, and 30 days from now, you're going to have your own information product. If that sounds good, go ahead and take action and take advantage of the opportunity while you can. Qualify for these bonuses only within the next 24 hours. So Kyle says to Miss Amy, what is the reasonable price for the product? I think we might have answered that, but just one more time, Amy. What do you think is generally a sweet spot for a price regarding these products?
If you're doing a short written report, I think anywhere from $7 to $17 can be a sweet spot. If you're doing something that's like video, $27, $37, $47. So you can start at the under $10 mark if you want and then kind of go up. And then if you're doing more comprehensive, more expert level, then we're talking about, $97, $197, $497, $1997. So.
Right. And guys, once you start with those lower ticket products, you start working your way up to that, those higher levels, $297, $497. Would you guys like to sell a product for $500 or potentially $1997? And guys, it may sound far-fetched now, but believe me, there are plenty of people out there selling products for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. Some of you guys here on this call have paid that, so and think about the quality of the product you got. What did you have at the end of the day? Do you have your own product now? Probably not. You're here on this call, and you're still looking for the key. You're still looking for that last piece of the puzzle that might help you get to where you want to go. So go ahead, mobe.com/30 days. Take advantage. Please visit that Facebook thread there. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought, and let's build some anticipation for this replay so that everybody else is excited when we finally post that. So Chris says, your action equals your personal freedom done for you. Absolutely, Chris. Kyle says, thank you. Yes, that would be great. So I agree 100%, guys. I'm glad you guys got some value out of the call. Amy, I thank you so much for everything that you shared tonight. I had some aha moments, and I got some golden nuggets from this. So I'm very grateful you joined us here on the call.
Great. Well, thank you, Matt, and thank you, everybody, for having me. I had a lot of fun. It was great, and I hope to see everybody inside the members area. If you go ahead and take action, that would be fantastic, and it was great being here tonight. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. You rock, Amy. Thanks again, and I'll be in touch. Chris says, thank you, Amy. Great webinar, and we still have thank yous piling in. So, guys, go ahead and let us know what you think on that Facebook post, and I definitely appreciate that. So, Amy, thanks again, and take care, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Okay, great. Sounds wonderful. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
All right, take care. Good night. Good night, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you guys are in the world, and I will catch up with you guys all soon. Bye-bye.